So I want to start, so those of you who see me give any kind of technical talk are very much going to recognize this video on the left. It's usually the first video that I present at any kind of technical talk. And I'm just, over the years, I'm just amazed at this. This is an ibex. It's climbing a dam that's probably about 75 or 80 degrees. And the older ibexes can do it, the younger ones can do it. It's just really easy. And that's really what kind of pulled my attention into this field. So I actually met Dan in a sort of a circuitous way when I was a plucky young undergrad with zero research experience. I watched all of Bob Full's TED Talks, and then I proceeded to decide that I needed to somehow work with Dr. Full and his collaborators. So I contacted him, and I'm sure he gets hundreds of these kinds of emails. And then I ended up contacting Shai and Sam and other people in his lab who were kind enough to get back to me and kind of explain a little bit about the process to me. And then Bob actually called me, I think on his way home one day, because I had bugged enough people in his lab that finally the message had kind of gotten back to him that there's this undergrad with no experience who's very tenacious. So he called me on his way home and he said, okay, Gavin, I appreciate your enthusiasm, but why are you talking to me? You want to do this from the engineering side, not the biology side. You should contact. And then I have a list. My parents actually found the list a couple of years ago of Dan and Noah and Kokoski and many of his other collaborators of, you should work with these people. These are the engineers that I work with. And the first person on that list was Dan. I had horribly misspelled your name because I just got it verbally. But here we are years later, and we've worked together for a long time. So starting with that biology on the left, a little bit kind of closer to my academic interests is here, this video on the right. So what's absolutely amazing here is if you look at the compliance of the dog's legs as it's hitting the ground, you can see the shock wave. You can see, the amazing kind of tuned mechanical intelligence in the dog's legs. And so this was something that was really, really captivating for me. And so some of the research we ended up doing together was working on highly backdrivable legged robots. So on the left here, this is one of our modules spinning, and it's basically waiting to feel for any kind of impulse, and it's able to sense, a lot of you have seen this video before, it's able to sense somebody blowing on the motor itself. So it can be made incredibly sensitive by removing the gearbox and just having a direct drive module. That led Turner and Avik here to make this video where the Minotaur robot was able to actually open. This is Dan kindly lent us his office door. This is his office door that we scratched up and did some small amount of property damage to. But it was for science, so it was okay. So we were able to do this, this behavior here where the Minotaur was able to open the door. It, of course, was not in any way repeatable or reliable, but it was kind of a one-time demonstration of him having really backdrivable motors and really being able to feel through the motors themselves. So we had the robot up on the left, and then I'd been having many conversations with Dan about what I was going to do with my life. And slowly it was kind of starting to dawn on him that I was maybe a little bit too pragmatic to be a professor. So we kind of had to get over that major disappointment. A lot of you are very familiar. So we were kind of talking through getting over that disappointment. And, we had this wonderful Minotaur robot that existed, did things in a completely non-repeatable way, carried no payload, and was constantly overheating. So we took this piece of engineering, and Dan actually suggested that we start a company. So myself and Avik started Ghost Robotics towards the end of 2015. So we had a robot that was very much a proof of concept, not at all a product. And then we had a bunch of artist renderings, like you can see on the left there, of what one might be able to do with these robots. And so with all that, we started the business. And then years later, it's been kind of incredible to look back in hindsight because, that was the kind of the conception. Now in the reality, we actually have a robot that's able to move around in real world environments. We're still well behind the ibex, but move around in kind of difficult environments, get over things, move around in shifting terrain, and do so in a way that's fully sealed. We can go through water, we can go through sand, all kinds of rough terrain, including real world deployments. And it's been just an amazing journey, starting with this curiosity, ending up with these products that we've shipped, hundreds of robots to over 25 customers around the world. And these robots are actually deployed in real world applications. So that's been my journey. And thank you very much, Dan, for your support.